of La Penta. This is WICR.
Hello, Iona College. I am your host with the most, Jersey Joe, and dominating the headlines the last couple of days, this whole Deflategate thing with the New England Patriots. I think a lot of people are very curious to see what I think because I've taken a very harsh stance on steroid use, very, very harsh on baseball and everyone and I consider it cheating. I think this whole Deflategate thing is the same ballpark as the steroid users. It really just at the bottom of its core boils down to cheating. And when you're looking at as a fan, there's nothing that takes your enjoyment away from the game more than feeling like teams are not on an even playing field. I think that's why sports is fun. Sports is fun because we don't know what's going to happen. The possibilities are endless. Even though if you could be the worst team in a sport playing the best team, and there's still no guarantee that that better team is going to win. The fun of it is we don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. And when you have instances like this, like Deflategate, like steroid use in Major League Baseball, I just think as a fan, it takes all of your enjoyment away. And that's what sports is. It's sports, it's entertainment. And if we're not being entertained, there's no point in watching. And if fans ever felt like what they were watching wasn't genuine, they wouldn't watch. And I think that's part of the problem with baseball nowadays. There is many problems because of baseball's decline. The games are too long, a lot of hosts of problems. But I think one of the big reasons, especially for me, is I just don't trust what I'm watching anymore. And if fans ever felt like they couldn't trust the game, they wouldn't watch. The sport would cease to exist. And I think that's why you saw what happened with Pete Rose, why the NFL has to come in so hard now, because you're losing the trust of the fans, especially with the Patriots. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. When Spygate happened, just tremendous backlash against the Patriots, rightfully so. Now they're doing it again. They kind of have this aura about them where the rules don't apply to them. We're the Patriots. We can do whatever we want, and fans don't want to see that. I don't care if you're a fan of the Patriots, if you're a fan of another team. It's not something that sits right with us, and it's not something anyone wants to see. And let's even look at this from a Patriots fan's perspective. Do you really want this to be the legacy of what your team's remembered for? I think that's part of the joy of watching our teams win championships is the pain and the struggles and everything it took to get there. And when you get that championship, it's something no one can ever take away from you. It's something that you'll always remember. You'll remember every step it took to get there, and it's something that no other fan can ever tease you about or bring you down about your team. You've always got that championship to cling to, and you've tasted greatness once, and when you taste it, it tastes very, very good. But when you're a Patriots fan, I'll be honest, a lot of people are saying that the Belichick-Brady legacy is tarnished. I agree with you completely. I can't disagree. When you think of Brady and Belichick with Spygate, now with Deflategate, this is what they're going to be remembered by. It's not going to be the 3 Super Bowls, which all, of course, they won by a field goal, which is a little fishy. I think we're always going to remember them for the bad stuff that they did, and rightfully so. When we think back to Bill Walsh and Joe Montana, the only pair they really could be compared to, did we ever think about this stuff? No. The first thing that we ever think about with Brady and Belichick now is going to be this Spygate, the Deflategate, cheating, being cheaters, going out of their way to gain a competitive advantage that's clearly against the rules. And I just think it's something that drives me crazy as a fan because I don't care. I can accept being beat. It doesn't matter. Watch this summer with the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs. My team got crushed, but I could accept it because clearly my team was not better than the other team. They were clearly the better team. You accept that. But when your team is cheated and you feel like you were just everything was taken away from you, it was not on a level playing field, I think as a fan you can understand the frustration. Now, the other arguments for this being made are that this game was not close to begin with, and that's true. It doesn't matter if the balls were normal or not. The Patriots still would have beaten the Colts, but that defeats, it gets away from the point. The point is the Patriots cheated. It doesn't matter how much they won by or what the score was. It's just the fact that you think that you're above everyone else, the rules don't apply to you, and you can just cheat like that. It has absolutely just taken all the luster off of the Super Bowl, regardless of what happens in the next couple of days. I mean, today we had Bill Belichick coming out with his comments. Of course, he had no idea. I mean, how could he know? He's just the head coach of the football team. There's no way he would have. I mean, he's clueless to all this stuff, right? No, I think very well he knew what was going on. And look, at the end of the day, the Bill Belichick and the Patriots don't deserve our benefit of the doubt. If they had never done this type of thing before, I could see maybe you would be a little skeptical. But you go back to their previous track record, what they've done in the past, I think we very well are deserving to hold them accountable and to think they definitely did this. I think Bill Belichick, a guy as controlling as him, who is in every phase, every just aspect of his team's life, everything they do, if he didn't know about this, then I'm just not buying it. I'm not. How could you? A guy as controlling as he is, he absolutely knew. The Patriots, it takes all the luster off. And I'll be honest, the only way to really rectify this, and now I don't know if the NFL will do this, it's very harsh, but is to not let Belichick coach this game. It's the only way. You're the head coach. You're accountable for everything that happens in part of your team. You're accountable off the field, on the field, whatever happens, especially on the field. This was his team. It's his situation. It's his responsibility as head coach. He's got to be accountable for what happened, not once, but twice. I think that right now the only way to rectify this is for him to be suspended for the Super Bowl. It's the only way because, let's be honest, this story is not going away. I think some people were thinking maybe this would go away. It is not. This has been a frontline page material, and I was talking to my dad about this, and he made a great point. Let's say Belichick does coach and he's there for Super Bowl week. It's not just going to be the sports people, ESPN, all the other people who are going to be there. You're going to have TMZ and all these entertainment people because this is not just a story for sports fans. This is something that everybody wants to hear about. Deflategate it's relatable. Everybody, no one likes a cheater. It doesn't matter if you're a sports fan, if you're not. In all aspects of life, we want a level playing field. Even in President Obama's State of the Union speech the other day, that's what he said, right? We all want a fair advantage. We all want to start out at the same level and have the same opportunity to get the same level of success. Well, we want that in society. We want that in sports. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have just never had that. I think they play against the rules. We've seen it many times. And right now, it's going to be a mess Super Bowl week because let's even go past that. Let's look at who wins the Super Bowl. Let's say it's Seattle. Well, everybody in the world is going to be happy about it because no one's going to be rooting for the Patriots. Unless you're a Patriots fan, it's very hard to conceive that anyone would be rooting for the team who's just had all this cheating stuff behind them. And let's say the Patriots do win. Well, every fan out there is going to be skeptical. No one's going to consider a legitimate win after what just happened. Everyone, it's just going to be a joke. It'll be a mockery. People are just going to turn it off and just disregard it because of what's happened. I just think any way the NFL looks at this, it's ugly. It's taken a lot of luster off of what could have turned out to be a fantastic Super Bowl. And I'll be honest, August 27th, I was right here. I picked Patriots Seahawks for the Super Bowl. Thought it would be an excellent matchup. I had New England winning the game. Every year I always buy the team's jersey who I think is going to win. And I can't buy a Patriots jersey because I just will not support that. I will not support people who think they are above the rules. The rules don't apply to them, and cheaters above all is something I have no patience for. I will not support ever. So I'm rooting for the Seahawks no matter what happens. I think matchup-wise, and here's the thing, it takes the fun out of the analysis of the game, this cheating stuff, because we could go back and forth. Seattle's got weak offensive playmakers. The Patriots have a great secondary. They should do a good job shutting them down, but it just takes all the enjoyment out of doing this analysis because the game doesn't mean as much because of the cheating. When you feel like it's not on a level playing field, what's the point of analyzing anything? Because it's just not fair. It's not fun, and it just takes enjoyment out of all aspects. The reason I'm in this business is because I enjoy it, because I enjoy analyzing things. I enjoy not knowing what's going to happen, seeing if I'm going to be right. It turned out my Super Bowl prediction was right. It's something that's very cool. But when you bring in this cheating stuff, it just ruins all of it. It takes all of my enjoyment away from it, and it's really what's happened to me in baseball. Baseball was my first sports love. I just loved every minute of it, but as I got older and the steroid issue became more persistent, and I'd known a great deal about the history of the game at that point, just robbed all of my enjoyment of the game. I've never looked at it the same way, and I don't think I ever will, because especially for baseball, it's a sport that's built on numbers, and the numbers don't mean anything anymore. And when you've had that much damage to the game, to its structure, it's so hard ever thinking and looking at it the same way. And it's the thing about the Patriots is I'll never look at it the same way. I already thought that they got way off easy on the Spygate thing. We really put that in the back burner. No one ever talked about it. Everyone always put Bill Belichick up on a pedestal. He's the greatest coach of all time. Well, that's false. If you still consider Bill Belichick the greatest coach of all time after all of this that's happened, then you don't get it. You just don't get it as a fan, as an analyst. It doesn't matter who you are. If you still consider him the greatest coach of all time with all this stuff, you just don't get it. And I kind of like it for Peyton Manning's legacy, because Peyton is what we all are. Peyton is the guy who got there once and won it all, and we were all so happy for him because he waited. It taken him so long. There'd be so many struggles, and he finally got there and he won it. He got back to the Super Bowl twice and lost both times. I think it's really your typical American story, what we want. I mean, the ups, the downs, he finally gets it. He's tasted defeat so many times. And then you have Tom Terrific, who is always perfect, always wins. But Tom Terrific, turns out, was the cheater. Peyton Manning is what we've always wanted. He's the guy who always worked hard, did things the right way, which I think is what we want from all sports, what we want from life. All aspects of life is fairness, doing things the right way, and always getting and being on a level playing field. Those are my thoughts. I mean, basically, I think I expressed them pretty well. I'm not happy by it. I mean, I thought this was going to be an excellent Super Bowl. The day after, though, everything spiraled downwards. It's going out of control. The NFL, I'm really curious to see what they do here, because they have had as controversial as a season as you could get with everything that's happened with concussions and Ray Rice and off-the-field incidents and Adrian Peterson, Commissioner Goodell. Now you have this with the moment where all of that could be forgotten. Super Bowl week, everyone's in the country is excited. It's just been taken over by this controversy, cheating scandal, which, let's be honest, for sports, there's nothing that could hurt your reputation more than a cheating scandal. This is as bad as it could get for the NFL, and it's just bad for sports. It's bad for fans. It's bad for everyone. Thank the Patriots for ruining it all for us. It has been awful, and they deserve a lot of blame here. They deserve every blame. Any punishment they get, it's got to be severe. That's my thoughts on it. That is going to do it for this segment, so stay tuned, and I will be back soon.